Hey, welcome back to Vortex Garage, and today we've got some cool stuff. We've got our tool chest that we ordered a couple months ago, finally came in at a back order, and we went this morning and picked it up in the pickup truck. And what we're going to do is use the lift to unload it because it's pretty heavy. So what I'm going to do is lift the arms up, and then we're going to use some straps around the tool chest itself, get it up in the air just an inch or so off the truck, drive the truck away, lower it down, and be good. So it should be that simple, right? All right, we'll probably have to go a little higher, but the idea is to just get these over the bed rails just enough so that when we lift the toolbox and the suspension unsettles, they're not going to jam up. So hopefully this thing will go high enough to get above the bed rails. I'll be able to strap the tool chest to it and lift it up another inch or two just to clear the bed so we can pull the truck away. Let's find out. If not, it's going to be a lot harder. All right, so these straps, based on their working load that they claim, should be more than enough to lift this up for a little bit. So the plan is keep them nice and straight so they're not folded along the bottom of the toolbox, spread the load. We're gonna get the arms up a little more. Whoops, well that fell. We'll get the arms up a little more, move them over, tie our straps to the arms, lift lift up a tiny bit, see if we can move the truck. All right, and I do want to move the truck forward just a bit, so let's do that. Of course, we're on the thing there. Tell you what, if you've got the roof height for an overhead style lift and not the floor plate, oh my gosh, do that. Fortunately, we don't have the space, so. Now for the danger zone. Let's see what happens. I'm probably not even on these and it'll tilt. All right, that's as high as it goes. And we are just off the truck. So let's not waste time. Let's go ahead and move the truck and get this thing down. Of course, we're going over that floor piece. All right, there we go. All right, and away she goes. All right, now if it falls, it's all my fault. All right, now before I lower it down completely, these are just holding this cardboard on, so that shouldn't be a big deal. And I don't want to go completely under this thing, but I do want to see. I guess I got to go completely under it. It's held on with nails? Are you kidding me? Oh yeah. All right, what do we got here? Like a free rivet. What do we do to get a free rivet? Okay, so what I'm thinking we just take our lift and put our lift arms under the toolbox, see if that lifts it up. Hold it right there, Coach. All right, now you're rolling. I want to see what I'm doing. Just like that. All right, so those reach. Let's see if this one will reach. Yep. And means this one ought to as well. Let's move it like that. Perfect. All right, let's see if it'll lift up. Oh, got to go a little more to get past the casters. And I actually would prefer to go the other way. All right. All right, so we should be able to push it over the bump, and then we'll rotate it and put it over the other side of the shop. Oh, that was super easy. Uh-oh. Which way pivots? This way does. One of these ways should turn. All right, here it is. Unpacked successfully, taken off the truck successfully. Let's go ahead and, I love the top. Go ahead and open a few of these up. I don't even know how to open it. Oh, look who's a big dummy. Look who's big dummy. All right. Look at that. Look at this. Watch. Sweet, and they come with a toolbox liner in them. And it looks like it comes with covers and nameplates that you can make, a book. It's good to know that it has those little catches on the side. You have a nice toolbox liner in here. Felt stronger in the store, but it's not one of the icon units, and it's not a, to me, it's not equivalent to a humongous box. If I were to compare it to anything, let's compare it to, well, this one's busted, and this Husky, granted it's got tools in it. So, all in all, nice. I'm happy with it. Little goofiness here. Looks like you could probably trim that to get it to fit a little better, but nice liner up here. Might just be out of alignment because it fits here. So you're probably wondering, where is this toolbox going to go? And obviously it's not going to go in the corner here blocking everything. And we've got all these workbenches and stuff under the workbench. So I think what I'm going to do is get rid of this workbench. This workbench is going to disappear. This workbench is kind of silly. Yeah, it's great for storing things. And as you can tell, I usually just put things on it. I store things under it. I could probably store my jack stands way better. Those ramps can go anywhere. Those are tools that can go in the tool chest. So I'm going to clear out the underneath here, get rid of this. And one of the things about this table that's kind of silly is it's hard to reach the other end. So when I built this table, it's just a 4x8 sheet of plywood on a frame. And I ended up cutting this one down because it was so, it just took up a lot of space. And just this little foot that I cut off of it really actually opened up the shop quite a bit, and it's perfectly fine. So I think what I'm going to do is leave this one, work on cleaning the tools up so that we keep the top of the workbench cleaner and we have more room, maybe even move that around, or possibly move this one back out from under here, put it over. This actually has a nice wooden top, so maybe move that one out. So I'll figure something out, but I'm going to get rid of this workbench and put it somewhere else, or just get rid of it, see if someone wants it. We'll figure that out when the time comes. Clean the tools up, put all the tools away, and this space will be opened up. There will be more room behind anything that you pull in the shop here, and we'll have a lot more room for tools and whatnot. And then I have the top here as a work area or a storage area, which will probably be. And then I have to decide, do I ever get the top piece to this? Because they now sell a top piece that fits on top of these, 72 inches wide, and goes, you know, about here. And that would open up a lot more tool storage, which keeps the rest of the workbenches clean. So yeah, that's what we're thinking of doing, and that's what we'll do. All right, so to close out this video, we're gonna show you, we've now got our toolbox set up. We've got a lot of our tools migrated into it. So we'll show you a little bit how our setup has changed and how this has really made things a little more organized in the shop here. Let's check it out. So we've got our box mounted here against the back wall, and it's right around where our lift is. So anytime we're working on a car, most of our tools are going to be right here. So definitely has a lot of room. And one of the big things we've been able to do is split some of the stuff that was split from a couple toolboxes, all fits in here. And then some of our special tools fit in our older toolbox. And well, let me just show you. It's really nice. So we did a few extra steps. We got some tool organization. So as you can see here, all of my various sockets that I had lying around, now I've got them completely organized. Some of my deep well stuff, all this stuff was basically in cases before, or just sitting around loose. So we picked up these from Olsa Tools. Let me try to get down and show you these. So these are from Olsa Tools. They're magnetic socket holders. There's 1/4 inch, 3/8 inch drive, and 1/2 inch drive. And then we've got some, oops, I'm pulling these off. So I'm actually making a mess as I do this because I try to do it one-handed. So let me fix that, because the whole point is tool organization. So we've also got some socket rails, and we use different types here. So on the metric side, this is all metric stuff and Torx. We've got a plate that sits down here. It's got 4 rails on it from 1/2 inch down the 1/4 inch. We've also got all of our torque wrenches in here. We've got our battery powered ratchet, various ratchets and hand ratchets. Got various extensions and not extensions in here, but wobbles and adapters, universals. Here's all of our SAE stuff. Got some of our 12 points. And then all the way in the back, we've got some of our bigger stuff, and we even have our axle one here. And these are sitting on, again, some socket rails. We do have a couple of the large extensions back here and a few breaker bars, things that we don't use quite as often. Well, I use the breaker bars quite a bit, but like this ratchet, I don't use that very much. So ton of space up here, and this pretty much gives us almost everything we need. Let me try to hold the camera a little better. I'm not doing a good job on the camera. So that's a nice heavy drawer with a lot of stuff in it, and this thing is built well. I mean, that's a lot of stuff heft in there, and it's holding it great. Over on this top side, we have all of the extensions that we could ever need, wobbles and various things. And my gosh, I got to tell you, this is 20 years worth of collecting tools and whatnot. You find out how many tools you actually collect over the years, which is quite a lot. And yeah, a lot of my stuff's Harbor Freight or Gear Wrench or whatever. I mean, it's not Snap-on stuff necessarily, but a lot of these tools have still served me very well the way that I use them. So going down the middle, we've got all of our SAE wrenches. So we've got our gear wrenches, our ratcheting wrenches. We've got just standard combination wrenches. We've got our flare wrenches, crow's foot wrench, and I even had room to store our adjustable wrench, which doesn't come out very often, but every now and then I need it because of a weird size or whatever. Got some of the bigger stuff in the back, and we've actually got a roll of some extra stubby wrenches and then some spare ones I've had over the years. Freaking out my gimbal here. All right, here we have all of our metric wrenches, nice and organized. I'm hoping to keep it this way. One thing I've learned with organization, if you don't stack something, it's fairly easy to put things away when you're done. So we'll see. I'm not truly an organized person. This looks organized, but it's only that way because I just set it up. So we'll see how I do with it and how it stays that way. So that's all your metric stuff. Here's screwdrivers, bits, driver bits. Yeah, it's a pencil case, but it's full of various driver bits, nut drivers and stuff like that. Some Torx, you know, kind of everything that you need. And then over on the side, one over, I have some spillover of various screwdrivers over the years. You can tell, again, just mishmash of stuff from the years. Harbor Freight, Stanley, some old Craftsman stuff. And of course I got my gear wrench stuff in the middle there. Kind of like the gear wrench stuff, even though I'll use a lot of different things. So here's a bunch of pliers, channel locks, various types of pliers, vice grips. This doesn't have all of the bodywork stuff in it, but there is a number of that in there. So all the pliers you could need. And then down here, we got the hammer drawer. So all of the dead blow hammers, punches, dies, chisels, hammers of different types, ball peen, BFHs, bodywork hammers. Okay, then we'll go down these really quick. We already covered the extensions. Here we've got various special tools. We've got spark plug and ignition stuff, some oil change stickers, fluid clamps. Got a bunch of various fluid clamps, oil change stuff, brake hardware, disc, drum brake stuff, etc. Here we got some various fuel line stuff. We've got some various, sensor adapters and things like that. Some electrical removal tools, hose tools, distributor wrench. Here's interior and panel popping tools. Oh, there are the screwdrivers. Here's nut drivers, all of the, what do you call them, snap ring pliers and stuff like that. Again, just years of collecting stuff. So here's where we get into some of the packages. So here is my oxygen sensor kit. This is I don't think this is actually a Harbor Freight one anymore, because the Harbor Freight one failed. It's a fuel and vacuum gauge. I think I'm just using the case. And then in here we've got more special tool cases. We've got our brake caliper tools, I've got my torque set, and then I've got a bunch of extracting tools for when I break bolts. We'll take us over to here. This is kind of our measuring stuff. Again, a lot of my tools are ending up in here, which is awesome. So all of my measuring tapes that I can never find are now here. Got my paint markers, scissors, knives, stuff like that. Got my sewing measuring tape, which is handy for measuring weird stuff. Got a caliper. So all the pry bars, files in there as well. This one's still kind of open. We've got our impact screwdriver, and we've got a couple extra torque adapters. So our torque angle meter, this 3/8 analog torque wrench, and we've got this digital torque adapter. And then this big case, again, a bunch of different stuff in here, all kinds of bearing stuff, AC gauges, AC hardware, power steering pump puller, so various stuff like that. So this thing is awesome. I was amazed how much stuff I was able to keep putting in there and put in here. So this thing really has held a lot. It's quite awesome. This is really going to help our workflow in the shop here. So this was my old, I used to keep this near the lift and just keep basic tools in it for working on stuff. And the idea was, it'd have about 80% of what you need. Well, this is now converted into my diagnostic cart. So I've got some of my electrical stuff, battery chargers. I've got my old Windows XP laptop, which runs some old diagnostic software that I have for Fords. I've got my ODB2, got a little adapter here as well, my little Bluetooth one. And then in here, I've got temperature gun, my power probe, multimeter. Are you seeing this? I can't even tell if you can see this. So yeah, there you go. So multimeter, probe stuff to get in the check connections and electronics. Then I have electrical tools, crimper, all that kind of stuff. And then what do I have down in here? I've got my soldering equipment, an old timing light, which is just a real basic one, and of course my battery tester. So I'm still figuring out where things are going to eventually land, but I figure this cart would be kind of like electronics and diagnostics. This is the bulk of mechanics tools. Got room on top, which I'm going to try to keep this clean to use as kind of a work area, but I've already got some things for some of the next jobs. We already have been ordering some parts for some work we got coming up that we got to do. So with that toolbox filled and with our diagnostic cart, we've got my older toolboxes here that are just full of various special tools I've acquired over the years. Again, you go and do a job on a car, and it's cheaper to do it yourself and buy a tool that you don't have. You save so much money than having someone else do it for you. And when you drive older stuff, you got to do that quite often. So you end up amassing a lot of tools over the course of 20, 30 years. So anyway, this toolbox I've had for probably about 10 years, and it used to be under there. And now I've pulled that out, got rid of the table that was here. And that has a nice wooden top, so we got a little bit of workbench space. It opens up some floor space here, which is nice. This toolbox I've had for about 20 years. This was actually my first big toolbox that I had. And that's now got a lot of special tools in it as well, various other pieces and bits. And then we've got our workbench over here that we saved as a work area. I want to eventually straighten up and clean off some of that stuff, put it away. And then we've of course got various things under here. That gas can's empty, it's brand new. That's for my 2-cycle stuff. So no, I'm not storing a gallon of gas next to my batteries. It's actually empty and clean, never been used yet. But that's pretty much it. So just thought I'd show you how we ended up sending things in. I think it's really going to help our workflow here in the shop. So you'll be seeing this as we do a lot more work, and it'll be handy for allowing us to work on all the various older cars that we got, and anything that people come in and need worked on. We're going to be a lot more efficient. So it's one thing I've learned over the years is I've always gone through stages of efficiency. There's been working out of, bags of tools, small boxes, larger boxes, more stuff. And now this is kind of like the next step for me. This is like phenomenal. Like, this is amazing. I've never had this much space for tool storage. And over the years, it's amazing how much you pick up and amass tool wise. So we've got plenty of stuff to fill it just from doing all these jobs over the years. So hopefully you enjoyed that little walkthrough and kind of in real life setup. So you'll see this toolbox in action in a lot more videos, and it's going to make it a lot easier for us to get more work done more efficiently here. So that means you're going to see lots more repair stuff in here. We've got some pent-up demand coming. We've got a lot of stuff that needs to be taken care of. So hope you enjoyed this. Stay tuned for a lot more. So drop us a like and a subscribe if you enjoyed it, because there's going to be plenty more stuff like this here on Vortex Garage.